Hey guys, so we're gonna be watching a very nice 2v2 game with two factions here. On this side of the map there are two players for British forces, and here is the camp of DAK players. Which Africa Corps, famous for its speed and its versatility with vehicles, special light vehicles. And this map is kind of interesting to see because it's like a camping map, at least on most of the territory here, so it's not like the map with a lot of open terrains, and usually on this map people will be just taking positions and exchanging blows with one another. So yeah, the map is really weird, and I wouldn't really say it's a really good map for Deutsche Afrika Korps, especially because this faction is more about mobility, sudden strikes, and just being present all over the map with high-speed units and just overall action everywhere where they can take their positions. But here I think it's a map that just favors British faction a bit more, just because of the layout and how you can establish your machine guns, your mortars, and just all other units, including heavy tanks. It could be a really good position for the British players. So we'll see how it's going to develop on this map. Personally, I would really favor the British faction. And the players in chat are discussing the Company of Heroes 2 maps. And yeah, there are a lot of Company of Heroes 2 maps in Company of Heroes 3 right now, because the devs are trying to get them there. On the one hand, it's kind of cool because, well, you know, everybody has that sense of nostalgia, right? And people are going to be enjoying that. But on the other hand, it's a bit lazy of them to do the same maps over and over again. Especially if we consider there are not as many maps in the release, and the game is really lacking in terms of content so far. But it's getting better and better with each day, so I'm kind of okay with this. The first exchange is happening here. Yeah, this little dingo car can be destroyed, but manages to narrowly escape at the last second, I guess. Yeah, the Panzer Pioneers couldn't really finish that vehicle, and yeah, it's a bit sad for the German player who was really chasing that. Deutsche Afrika Korps attacking here right now with the first Sonderkraft Fahrzeug, and there's a Panzergrenadier squad. Again, it's a very nice battle for the German player, I would say. In the very beginning, Deutsche Afrika Korps has a very nice advantage due to this armor track, even though it doesn't really do much damage and it's just not as bulky as other types of vehicles in this game, even light vehicles. It still serves as a great tank in the beginning, can absorb a lot of damage and just distract your opponent very well while your soldiers are fighting. And also, most importantly, your infantry gets extra combat bonuses from those light vehicles nearby, so you kind of need to use that anyway, and that's what the German players are actually doing in this game right now. It's gonna be another attempt of assault. The machine gun is facing a very bad direction here. Doesn't really see what's going on the front line. It's trying to switch the angle of fire right now, and it's going to be firing directly at this half track. Could be really good damage right now. But yeah, actually it has to change the position once again, because there's a very good flanking with these German troops from that side of the map. And yeah, the British player just has to abandon this position. Doesn't really have a lot of troops here to protect this area. Only one squad of infantry right now trying to slow down the Germans' advance, but probably not gonna happen actually, because yeah, there's just this vehicle just trying to support it with MG, and oh, that was a very nice upgrade with anti-tank rifles, and they managed to shoot it down. It was a very good moment for the British player, but still, yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter as much. Oh, actually no, there's the second squad, and now I think the British player is gonna hold his ground. But this was a very costly exchange for both of them, I would say. So even the German player lost the track, the British player also lost quite a lot of troops here. The manpower is very scarce in this game, so you need to be very careful. Dingo is trying to actually get this vehicle, but I don't think it's gonna happen. A very good micro by this German player. He's trying to evade that, but oh, in the very last second, oh, they both get each other, and this was a bit unlucky for the German player, but well, at this he managed to get this light car, which is also kind of good. I would say it's okay. It was a very good exchange for the British though, because now those troops, that they do not get the extra bonus from the half track, from the light vehicle, and they will have to wait for something else to assist them in this combat later on. So yeah, so far for this game, it's been back and forth for both factions. Nobody is really winning right now, and it's very interesting that players are just trying to fight on the flanks and nobody's trying to advance in the center. But overall, yeah, I would say it's something that to be expected, because the most important resources, they're here. You need this manpower for the late game and even for the current game right now to spend on your troops, on your soldiers. And on the main bridge there's only one victory point, which obviously you want to take, but it's not urgent right now because you have many other things to do in this game. Alright, very nice attack from the British player, pinning down this infantry with a machine gun and then just forcing the Germans to retreat. So far the British are doing a great job here on this map, I would say. And the Germans need to be very careful right now because they're starting to lose their control of the game. And it's very, very painful for the German faction. So let's just take a look at what battle groups they're going to be using in this game. So we have one player, Axis, who is going for this battle group. This is a very interesting one that's been added in the recent DLC, and it allows you to be very sneaky with a special vehicle that can mask your troops, but it's not something he's doing right now, so maybe we'll see that in the late game. But so far, yeah, he's just trying to be annoying with mass infantry, and also is getting the plunder, the passive ability that allows you to get extra guns, extra munitions from enemy vehicles if they are destroyed, or even from your own vehicles. So that's a very good thing for your infantry. But again, we'll see how it's gonna be developing. So you can see the Panzer Pioneers, they got a scoped rifle, so they can be a lot better in direct combat, which is a good thing to have, but it's not really a game changer. And the other guy is still deciding on the battle group that he's going to choose later on. For British players, they choose heavy armor, which is going to be very interesting to see, and air and sea battle group for another player, which allows for commando sections. And you can see one squad is already at the battlefield, sneaking to catch this troops off guard. Probably gonna be throwing a grenade, but no, actually just trying to push forward with sheer might and power of these British forces, but it's not gonna work out because there are too many troops right now. And you can see both German players decided to concentrate their forces right now on this front line, and now they'll be trying to push the British from the middle point, right? I would assume so, because they're probably going to be trying to attack here. The British, though, they're doing a great job actually holding positions here, and they've even got a machine gun installed at top of this building, which is a very, very good position for the machine gun to be in. And yeah, this is actually getting pretty tricky for the German players. They're trying to flank here, but there are two pioneer squads with flamethrowers, but well, actually it's not gonna help probably. There are just too many German troops right now shooting at them. They have to retreat. There's the first squad with the flamethrower, but no, it's not gonna work out. Just retreat, yep. And the machine gun has been also overrun here. A very good job by the German players, by Deutsche Afrika Corps. They just take control of this map, and this was a very good team play by both of them. They also got the first track here, half track with this gun, which is going to be very, very useful in the late game if they manage to save that. This is a very powerful anti-air gun, so could be very useful later on. But even now, you can use that to just push the front line, get rid of all the MGs, and even pin down infantry, which is also very, very cool if you can combine that with your other troops and just go and try to secure as many points as possible. And that's what they are trying to do right now. Slowly but surely they're taking the map back, and yeah, even though it seemed like the British were very well secured on their positions, now it seems like the Germans are still trying to fight for their life. They're not really losing as much as I thought they are. So yeah, that's a pretty good side for this game. The interesting thing about this game as well is that I didn't really tell that in the beginning, but the British players are much more skilled. They have a higher rank on ladder than the German players, but the German players are still doing alright, I would say. They have like a 100 or maybe like 200 places difference, which is a lot actually. So yeah, the Germans are doing a good job right now, even though they don't seem to be in a great spot, but they are trying to come back. At least they are not really folding that easily. So it's very interesting to see how the game is going to be unraveling later on. So far the British player is playing a very interesting tactic with just mass Royal Engineers right now. It's really difficult to tell if it's actually working out. It seems to be losing quite a lot of troops here and HPs, but yeah, in such sheer numbers, with such numbers, it's just really difficult to battle against, right? There's so many engineers, they're just pushing forward, and the German player just have to retreat back. Medical truck has been lost. Not a big deal really, but yeah, that's something that was supposed to happen because there were just no cover for this vehicle. And yeah, well, the Germans are on the back foot once again. They have to retreat right now. They have to come up with something else, with a different solution. And the solution is the flammenpanzer. It's a very good tank that could be extremely effective against infantry, and specifically against infantry in cities or in any kind of cover. And there are plenty of covers here, so why not? This is a very good decision right now. The German troops are also trying to engage with this 80 gun here. It's still shooting the truck, but manages to escape just in the last second. But doesn't look like there's just enough infantry to deal with that. But the flammenpanzer is already at the site, and yeah, this is a very, very big addition to the German army. Could be super useful to the victory right now. And you can see, yeah, the engineers are not really scared of this tank at all, I would say. Yeah, they just keep on fighting, but it's actually a bad decision because, yeah, the guy is just losing squads. I think at least one squad was lost, maybe even two squads, right? Yeah, two squads. And yeah, there's also this 80 anti-air gun Crusader, and could be used to advance here, but the problem is, again, there's also a pack cannon from the Germans. And yeah, this was a very brutal exchange of blows from both sides, but I would say Germans are catching up a bit right now, even though they also lost quite a lot of manpower here. But with the addition of this flammenpanzer, things look a lot better than they were just a minute ago. However, they'll still have to cross this bridge, and there are many tanks around and also cannons, so it doesn't really look doable, at least from this point of view right now. The Germans are also bringing like a lot of new armor. They have the first Marder right now, and they'll probably be saving some fuel for anything else. Could be another thing like this one. This Sonderkraftfahrzeug just hides your infantry from the side, and you can deliver very unexpected blows. It's a very good thing. You'll also have an extra damage and accuracy as the first strike bonus, which is a very powerful thing in this game, especially because there are a lot of vulnerable weapon crews that could be very easily destroyed if the British players are not paying enough attention to this position. But yeah, this is something that could happen, but we'll see. We'll see. So far the Germans are just trying to secure a very good position on this map. They're not really trying to go for anything crazy. They're not trying to all-in or, you know, just recklessly advance onto their opponents. They're just trying to hold their ground, maybe like take some points here and there. And I would say they're doing a really great job right now. They just need to be very careful because, yes, you can see the Marder is already shooting at the positions of the British players, at the anti-air Crusaders, but there's the first Matilda tank, which is very heavy. It's like, it's not a heavy tank obviously, but the armor of this tank is just supreme right now. It's just almost nothing is going to penetrate that. You can see Marder, of course, is able to do that, but there is also this cannon which doesn't really land all of the blows. There are two flammenpanzers, I would say, but well, flammenpanzers are not going to be useful against that. They can actually, it seems like they can deal some damage from the back of these tanks, but well, it doesn't look like it's going to work out. The cannon here is just holding its ground right now. Everything is so damaged at this moment. Crusader tanks are still pushing forward. The Marder is probably going to get destroyed. That's a pretty big deal right now, I would say. But yeah, also this Crusader tank is not going anywhere. And this was an equal exchange, I would say. Crusader even costs just a bit more money, so it's kind of fine for the German side. They lost a lot of manpower. They also lost a lot of victory points. So this is a pretty difficult spot for them to be in, but well, they're holding strong, really. And I think this was a big overextension by the British players, because they could have as well just stayed at home, just stayed here and just battle, maybe like add some artillery to their positions, and it would have been really good for them. But for some reason they decided to just attack, and it didn't really seem to be really good for them, right? So now they need to regroup a bit. they're retreating their tanks, the British faction can actually call off the units from the map and exchange them for something else. And you can see it's a very good ability because the tanks are just going nowhere right now. And the British player will get something else in exchange. He'll get the resources for this refund. And probably it could be something really scary. So maybe like a medium tank, maybe a heavy tank, we'll see. But yeah, I think something more interesting like Matilda tank would be very welcome here, right? I would say maybe some artillery, because they have a lot of 80 guns, so should be fine countering all of the vehicles the German side has, but they're probably gonna have a problem with just trying to push forward. That's at least how it seems right now. And yeah, there are a lot of troops from the German side, a lot of Panzer Grenadiers that can easily cross that breach and start flanking the other side on the low ground here. But yeah, they're just also very hesitant about that. They're just not trying to do that right now, which is a bit interesting. They're a bit indecisive as well. Even though they just won a big fight, they could have probably tried to do that and gain extra points, extra resources, but for some reason they're just trying to hold their ground and just not do anything in this game at all, which is not really a good thing to do, I would say. But well, they are still at least coming back, you know. They made like a small comeback for the past fight, so yeah, we'll see how it goes now. Two flammenpanzers here. For some reason, the Matilda tank just decided to ignore them, and it was very busy just going to the mid of the map. And yeah, it was actually a big mistake by the British player, who was just a bit blind and didn't see those tanks driving here. Alright, so now it's trying to engage those tanks, but it's not gonna work out, I would say, because there is this mortar tank. And yeah, it's gonna be a big deal. Matilda is now being flooded by the flame from these panzers. There is just this artillery strike, which is very painful, by the way, and the 80 gun saves Matilda, which is still trying to retreat. Wow, this is just a lot of damage right now at this side of the map, and I don't know, like the panzers, they will try to escape obviously, but I'm not sure if it's actually gonna happen. It's a pretty big deal right now for the German player. He just cannot afford to lose all of these flammenpanzers. Needs to go back and try, maybe try to force like the maybe use the ability, yes, on the tank and just try to yeah. I'm not sure if this is the right call for the German player. Actually, he should have just tried to retreat. There are infantry sections right now here, yeah. One for the British player who also had 80 guns, and there is the 80 gun itself. But I would say it should work out, actually. Maybe one panzer is gonna be down. Yeah, it happens. But at least he managed to knock out the engine of this Crusader tank. And even though the infantry sections are coming and there is the MG, there is just still a very high risk that there's going to be the second grenade to follow up this Crusader tank and destroy that, but doesn't seem to be the case right now. There is a cooldown on the grenade, so the German player just cannot really do anything about this tank, and it's probably going to retreat safely to the British base. Yeah, it's going to happen. At the same time, in the middle, another player is trying to push here. The German is just advancing with all the squads, but yeah, I was going to take out this gun. It was also with veteran C2, so it's pretty important to knock out the weapon crew, and now it's gonna be less deadly than it used to be. So yeah, a very good action from this player. Marder is on the side. Whoa, it's actually pretty scary right now for this Matilda tank, but there is also a cannon on the high ground, so it doesn't look like a very good position for Germans to strike, but yeah, they might be trying to do that. Yeah, okay, this gun is gonna be destroyed once again, recruit again at the same time, so it's not really a big deal right now, but well, the Germans are doing what they can. They're just trying to win at least some fights, but it doesn't seem to be working that well, especially the last fight where they just lost a lot of stuff. And there's the second Matilda tank, and yeah, the things are really getting worse for the German side. They don't really have like any good armor so far. They have a lot of infantry, and the infantry works very well. They have this pack gun additionally, and now they have Stücke zu Fuß, which is going to be very deadly if the British players are going to be standing in crowded places, you know. So you need to be extra careful right now, but they don't know about the existence of this unit yet, so it could be very, very interesting. But the first shot doesn't really land that well. Yeah, a lot of damage, but doesn't really land anywhere, to be honest, so it could have been much better. Probably should have waited just a bit. Artillery strike from the British side, and there seems to be this general big advance with those tanks from every side of the map. Command Panzer is here for the German player, but he's not gonna be fighting there, obviously. Just a lot of stuff from the British side, and the Germans are trying to just fall back on the defensive lines here, maybe somewhere on the high ground with this good positions around different buildings and just, you know, elevated terrain, so why not? Marder is trying to get the Crusader, not gonna happen because there is this AT gun. Crusader is trying to go for the revenge, it's very risky. Marder just misses the shot, and yeah, well, in general, Germans are doing a good job, I would say, but the British are slowly but surely taking control of this game. They just need to focus maybe a bit more on this victory point, because when you don't have any victory points, you lose them very, very quickly. Now Germans are losing just to 1 point each couple of seconds, but if they're gonna lose this one, it's gonna be not 1 but 3 points each couple of seconds, which is a lot actually, and they'll be running out of time very quickly. So this is one mistake that the British side is still making in this game, but other than that, I think they're holding their ground pretty well. They just need to regroup and maybe try to go for another battle. They need to be extra careful though, because of this Stuka zu Fuß, which could be extremely dangerous. And oh, look at that, the Germans are bringing a heavy 80 tank gun. This is gonna be a big pain for the British side. They're just trying to position that on top of this interesting area with different buildings, right, on this like little square. And yeah, the next time British players are gonna be trying to advance, that could end very poorly for them. Yeah, they need to somehow detect this cannon before it strikes next time, and this is gonna be a very interesting situation. It's gonna be very dangerous for the British side actually. They might need to stay just passively here, hold, but they're actually doing the same thing. They also bring in a much heavier AT gun here on their side, and now, all right, this is really interesting. They both have serious guns on each side, and now vehicles pretty much can't really advance here. So any armor, any tanks need to go around and look for a different way to fight, or a different position to fight. There is one flammenpanzer, one Marder, and one command panzer. A very nice force, well balanced by the German player, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough here. At the same time, look at this Matilda tank. It was trying to advance here, but obviously, yeah, this gun is extremely deadly. Now it needs to launch the smokes. At the same time, there is this big attack by the Crusaders. One Crusader has been down already, and yeah, the second one is probably not gonna survive as well. There are a lot of bazookas right now for these British squads, but eventually 2 Crusaders down, and Germans only lost the Marder. Marder is not that expensive, to be honest, so you can afford to lose that tank, just not too often, obviously. And yeah, the Germans are advancing here. This was a very decisive victory for this side, and yeah, it's a pretty important fight happening. Well, I'm not sure if this was a very nice call by the British player. He was probably thinking that, alright, they have just enough forces to overwhelm the German army there, but no, it was not the case. And now this guy just lost quite a lot of his stuff. He needs to regroup. He doesn't really have any armor left, unlike his companion, who now has still 2 Matilda tanks, and he can still try to advance on different side of the map, maybe, right? So yeah, both players are now figuring out that probably the middle is just the worst place to fight at, and just a lot better to just go to a different direction. Oh my god. This was a very interesting way of using this vehicle, because it also had a Goliath mine installed on the bottom of that, on the top of that, I don't know. This vehicle can deploy the Goliath mine that does a lot of damage, but I have never seen it used in this offensive kamikaze way, but it seems to be working out really well. So yeah, the tanks are now slowed down, but they can still try to advance later on, why not? Just needs the repairs, but at the same time, yeah, the Germans are taking that time, and they're trying to go on this side of the map. So I wonder where this big cannon is. Yeah, it's just been repositioned right now to a very good spot. One shot does a lot of damage, but it's not enough, obviously. But again, the British, they don't really have any artillery to get rid of this stuff. They have like this culinary strikes and stuff like this, but yeah, well, it takes some ammunitions. You need to spend them. So I don't know. This doesn't seem to be a good tool to fix that, I would say. But yeah, the previous artillery strikes were actually kind of good. They hit the targets, but now both British players. So this one has a lot of munitions. He can use airstrikes in this area, but Dr. Jekyll doesn't have anything of that. There is also Shtuka shooting right now at this position, and this is a pretty big hit right now, landing perfectly at this MG, this British MG. But yeah, still, like, it's a very tough spot for the German players to advance, because there are two 80 guns, there are plenty of infantry and MGs, so they're just being a bit more passive right now. Matilda tank trying to help the infantry on this side. There's only one squad of Panzerjägers. They have this 80 gun, but doesn't really do as much damage to this heavy tank. Not the heavy tank, but heavy armored tank. Let's go that way. But the big gun is shooting from across the map, and it could be a very bad blow for this British player. He's trying to save his cherished Matilda here, but probably not gonna happen, because yeah, there's just very much damage has been already done to this tank, and the German is actually trying to save that, but at the same time, oh my god, the commando squad is trying to get rid of this cannon here. It's probably gonna work out, and Matildas are probably gonna be safe, but at the same time there is this one Stuka trying to fly and drop the bombs. Didn't work out, kind of missed target, and the Germans also lost the 80 gun. This was actually a very good engagement for the British side. Yeah, they just they got rid of the most dangerous weapon the enemy side had, and now they just need to regroup, maybe get back, and then just try to deliver the final blow to their enemies. They're also taking the high ground right now in this battle against Panzer Grenadiers, and there is a very sweet place for the grenade. But Stuka is shooting again, could be very well. Yeah, it's just landing here on top of the British infantry at this sector, but not landing really well actually. Again, just missing a lot of shots, and or Matilda couldn't really catch this Marder, and it was destroyed on that position. Yeah, a bit unlucky for the British player once again, but I think they're just overextending all the time. I don't know why they're trying to do that, because, well, that's not something they just have to do, right? They can just sit peacefully at home at their side of the map, just control the victory points and win the game just this way, because, well, they have a very big advantage here. The German side only has 100 points, while the British almost have 300, and they just need to hold the points for a couple more minutes, and it's gonna be fine. They just don't need to engage like this. I don't know why they're doing that. But so far, all the offensives conducted by the British side, they didn't really amount to anything. They just kept on losing tanks, they just kept on losing infantry, and yeah, the Germans seem to be battling just a little bit better. It's not like they are winning this game, but the last couple of battles were actually going really well for the Germans, especially even though actually they lost a lot of stuff here on this side, but they managed to counterattack them and just get rid of the British tanks. Here on the other side, this is actually a pretty terrible engagement for the British player. He's trying to retreat, but yeah, Stuka lands a perfect bomb here on the cannons, and yeah, losing these guns is gonna be a big problem. It's a big setback for this player. He just doesn't have any troops left. He has a couple of Royal Engineers and MG gun here. Machine gun is on the position, but, well, yeah, it's probably not gonna work out. There are grenades landing on that place, and yeah, the Panzer tank is helping here as well. The British player is losing a lot of stuff right now, but at the same time the Germans also running short of their victory points, which is a pretty big issue right now. They can just lose like that. It's gonna be a very unlucky turn of events. But yeah, they just need to hold either the breach or this position here somehow. They're actually taking control of that, and at the same time there, actually, Matilda is starting to lose hit points, but no, it's probably not gonna happen, because just of the amount of troops here. A very nice artillery shot on that side of the map. That was actually very painful, because now they have this bishop artillery, and yeah, the British player actually deployed that thing, and now it's going to be a much better situation for the German army, or not for German, sorry, for the British army. Okay, another Stücke zu Fuß rocket launch, and yeah, it was a nice shot. Not great, but not bad as well. Whoa, this is actually a pretty even game, I would say. All players in this match are doing a great job, but yeah, the Germans are still running out of time. They need to be more assertive right now. They need to be more aggressive. They kind of need to push British out of those lands. They're kind of trying to do that here, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, they're holding 2 victory points right now, so they can just take some time and regroup. But the British can also do the same. They now have artillery, so they don't really need to try to run to the other side of the map. And yeah, they can just take their time, maybe. Yeah, they just need to stand on those positions. Here they have this one squad of Panzer Pioneers and also the flag cannon, flag track. But here the problem is a lot more serious, because there are AT guns, there are MG on the high ground, by the way, which is a pretty big problem right now. And yeah, there are also this veteran tank Matilda, level 2, which is a big deal right now on the battlefield. The Germans are trying to advance here, but the bishop artillery is shooting exactly at those troops, but not exactly, actually. It's missing quite a few shots, but still, it could be very interesting how the Stücke zu Fuß shot is gonna land here, and it doesn't really land well again, so a bit unlucky. And yeah, it seems like the front line's been broken, the Germans are retreating back, and there are a lot of tanks advancing forward from the British side. Oh, it looks really ugly for the Germans right now. There is this scouting half-track again, which is obviously going to be destroyed immediately. Yeah, and it seems like a GG for the German side. Unfortunately, the British eventually are able to overwhelm them and crush their defenses just like that, with this one decisive attack in the last minute. Yeah, the Germans are retreating back, and probably not gonna work out. Yeah, I just don't see any comeback tools for the German side right now. They still have like mortars, they still have like some troops, but obviously, yeah, it's not going to work out. And that's the end for this game. British side managed to become victorious, and that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more, have a good day, and see you next time.